Hello YouTube, this is your boy Crossover. What's up? How you doing? Okay, first a couple of things. One, I'm exhausted. I had to get up early this morning and go to an event. I went to the event, I'm back. I still have so much I have to do. I have to go out later, so this is gonna be very brief because I'm really tired. Um, but a couple of things. I'm gonna do a Bleach uh, discussion review, and it's gonna be about Yamamoto and the Royal Court Guard Squad, the comparison between the two. Now, two people, Shimigami X and Charles Anime World, I think about 2 weeks ago, they had a discussion and I posed this question to them, and basically they said maybe one or two members might be as powerful as Yamamoto was, but not necessarily all of them. So I'm gonna have a response to that, and I'm gonna give my own thoughts and views over it. I'm gonna give a more holistic approach to that discussion. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna do that discussion video sometime this weekend, hopefully, and I'm gonna get into that. But anyway, let me get into this review because I want to make it very short. First of all, this is between Rukia and Asuna from last week. We saw that the two of them are coming together and facing off, and you know, I like it because it's basically Rukia coming to avenge her brother, Byakuya. And I also feel like this is an opportunity for Rukia to kind of redeem her image in terms of what she can do, in terms of her abilities, because I feel as though for a long time she has not really performed. I think the only thing she did significantly was when she defeated that Espada number... I forgot the number. The one where the guy was changing, it was pretending to be Kayan. Do you remember that guy? Can't remember him. But anyway, she has not really defeated any major opponents. So I was really looking forward to this chapter, thinking to myself, okay, she's gonna do something here. And boy, did she do something. Okay, first of all, we have Asuna. He's firing those reishi thorns at her. The same, basically, they hit something, they put fear in you, right? But basically, she's like, it's not working on me. And he was like, why? And then he goes on this philosophical ramble about how every creature, has fear, and that everybody basically fears death. And that's where, it comes from. Nobody cares about why you live or why you feel safe, but everybody fears dying. Basically, he goes on this ramble about that. And Ruki is like, okay, that's true, but I'm not alive. I'm dead. And this is where she reveals the true power of Side no Shirayuki, her blade, which is basically that the ability is not that she turns things into ice like Zabumaru does. What her blade does is that she turns her own body's temperature down to very low levels of freezing, so that when she touches something, it freezes. And basically her sword is just an extension of her own ability that the sword or power gives to her. That's the true power of her sword. Huge. So basically she says at negative 18 degrees, the blood flow stops. So I think from the panel, she makes a move where we see, at first she's in front of him, then she's behind him. So I think she did a flash stop and she slashes him. And she says at minus 18 degrees, and I believe it's Celsius, the blood starts flowing, and you see that he gasps. Then you also see that at negative 50 degrees, the ground which her feet touch forms an ice quake. So I'm guessing the ground freezes, the whole ground around her starts to freeze up. And then she says that negative, negative 273.15 degrees. That's her ultimate bottom. That's like the bottom level of her freezing temperature that her body can go, and that's when it's the most destructive. And she does this slashing move, and she freezes him completely. And as he's trapped in the ice, he's thinking, my gosh, is this fear? Is this what fear is? Am I now experiencing my own fear? And okay, in a nutshell, that's the chapter. that is the chapter. I promise you this is gonna be short, and as you can see, I really meant it. Okay, my thoughts on this chapter. This is a good chapter. This in terms of what we got from Rukia. This is a progression of Rukia. We're first of all learning some new things. One is that the palace training is no joke. Seriously, she's saying that she's able to bring her body down, control her level of and control her body's ability to survive at that level by controlling the reishi. Now remember that when they went to the Royal Guard Palace, from Hikifune, that Royal Guard member, she taught them, she didn't teach them basically, but she fed them food which gave them super reishi. So this is training at a whole higher new level, and this is reishi amount that is really, really high. Arguably captain level or above. So she has learned how to manipulate this reishi to keep her body alive when her body temperature goes down this low. That's one thing. Another thing is that her sword is like an extension of herself. So basically, she is almost like the opposite of Yamamoto, although not at that magnitude, where anything her blade touches freezes. Anything she touches freezes. In fact, we see a panel where he fired more thorns at her and she was able to freeze it. And she says the only reason why she was dodging it before was because she wanted to make sure her body adapted to the effect of her Zanbakuto. But once it adapted, she began to freeze everything that came at her, including his own fear thorns. And the reason why the fear thorns are not working is that it's frozen on the surface, so it can't really enter her because her whole body has really shut down. But through her manipulation of her own reishi, she can move and fight. And so that's one thing we learned. The other thing we learned about through this chapter is that with regards to Rukia is that this is just one attack. We don't know like what else she can do. She could probably do a whole lot more, and I'm waiting to see that. And this raises a lot of questions of what her Bankai could possibly be. I'm not entirely sure what it could be, but it does raise a lot of questions. Okay, and also finally, is Asuna dead from this? Here's the thing. I don't know how Asuna's gonna beat her. If everything she touches now freezes, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that when she hits that bottom, absolute zero temperature for her, she says she can only move for 4 seconds. So does that mean that after 4 seconds, that's it? And if he's able to survive this attack, he can come back? It's hard to say. I don't know. So there's that thing to consider. So anyway, that's pretty much the chapter, and that's pretty much my thoughts on it. If you have any other thoughts, comments, or concerns, please let me know. Give me some comments. Please subscribe, and I'll continue to do this, bring you more Bleach anime related stuff. Oh my god, you can tell I'm tired. Bleach, manga, chapter stuff. One thing, my Kingdom review will come out probably the same time as my other review or discussion. So heads up on that. That will probably come later. But anyway, thank you so very much for staying with me. This is the Crossover, signing out.